Alright, I've decided to get into this shit over here a bit. That's the microwave egg, you can see behind the water container. People are giving me water containers, I never end up holding them in my car. At the end of the day, I always end up with a bloody soft drink bottle. Yeah, of course, past all that, there's a few. See the Moggy Bix bag. Some of those bags, I've got another one. It's a potting mix bag, you probably can barely see it down there. Are pretty heavy duty. They're great for getting weeds and stuff like that out of the paddock because they will not tear as easily as other bags, and they're a whole lot bigger, and they 3 times as strong as the average bloody garbage bag. Anyway, there's a bit of this other stuff that I got from this job I done during my business. I cleaned the house out. It's Coventry Club aftershave, which I thought it was a woman's thing because I never really read it, but apparently it's a men's aftershave. I got plenty of deodorant here, you know, but I just sort of, I mean to put it on, but I usually forget. And the fact of the matter is there's no point when I'm on my own. It's something that I should only really worry about going out in public, but then I go out in public and I'm usually too busy worried that I've got enough shit uploaded to my tablet to use the free Wi-Fi than anything else. I did have a can or two in my car, but I don't know if I've still got them in there or what. But there's a bit more. I've got friggin' shitloads. Of course, I didn't get that from the old lady's place, but I did get a bit of that, which I should give to some lass who actually gives a shit about that kind of stuff. Or one of my aunties or something like that. Anyway, you're all fucking dead. How's that for a knife? They've pissed around with it, I think, because it's a very rough blooming sharpening job they've done. Hacked into it pretty badly. I think I don't know if it's a bloody thick bladed one anyway. It should be a good brand, I would assume, but I can't really see anything. Realistically, this sort of shit should go with the sheep butchering stuff. Anyway, some other interesting old things I've been digging out in all of this, and I'll have to show you guys the bizarre shit that I keep somewhere in all this. I think it's in this box, is opals, white opals, and there's one of them that's a fucking cracker, like one's really good. But have a look at this. Little protractors or compasses. Very sort of professional one. I mean, that's all the groups for them all there. Very old, probably made in the 50s, I'd say. A lot of shit I pulled out of that house was made in the 60s and the 50s and stuff. Oh yeah, calligraphy pens. That's not all, because I looked in this one. An absolute shitload of fucking nibs, I mean heaps of them. I should probably be giving this away to people who actually give a shit. Or something like that, because I frankly don't. I'll put that knife somewhere. Oh, that's a pot, by the way, that come out of me first propane vehicle. I had all the shit stored in the back, and that was one of the ones, and I had a couple of other bizarre little things which I just took out of there. But I mean, this is the thing, that this one's, I don't know if this was actually in the house beforehand, because it's got all the signs of being used on a wood stove. And I think I may have actually, this might have been used by my uncle, and I grabbed it out, like it's been used on the open fire. Not the wood stove, the actual open fire. So he was so high-tech that at the end of the day he was running with candles and a bit of mesh over a wood fire, open fire. Although he had that wood stove that I'm now using, he didn't even get sorted with a propane stove, although they were a lousy $40, for fuck's sake. Yeah, lovely and clean inside. So I'll probably start actually using that one, I think. It's another 1-2, somewhere amongst there, but I think it's, oh no, it's down underneath those bags, but that's aluminium, I think. She's got a few of those little things. I think they're Indian made. Yep. Made in India, NYK. I think that may be brass or something. Guess what? Sydney 2000 Olympics badge. That is looking as a very good box as a contender for a few other things, and I may be using that in a minute. And I'm pretty certain that a bit on the other side to balance it here. I'll flip this open, just hang on a second. Ah, yes. Yeah, we have a number of bits and pieces here. And I am just about... I did find a bit of jewellery that the relatives of this old woman took, but that, looking by the tarnish colour, that's all silver. They're these are what I actually had some of these myself back when I was mucking around with jewellery myself. Little did I know much about bullion at the time, and I went and bloody well sold them for peanuts. Literally weeks before the GFC. Had I hung on to it for another 3 years, it would have made quite a substantial amount when it hit US $49 an ounce, but I didn't know that. But that is silver because all those are slightly tarnished. So that's good. I mean, there's not much worth of silver in that. Shit, there's probably only $3 worth, but anyway. Here's what you really frickin' want. 14 carat gold filled. Avon. That filled with 14 carat gold? I don't know. Yeah, I doubt there's much gold at all in that. If it's from Avon. We've got a few other odds and sods and bits and pieces in here. I've got another thing that's like a, what's his name? Little cross, and that's 18 carat, but I think it might only be the connections for it. What else we got? A lot of this stuff. A lot of this is shown sort of questionable, but I think it's actually silver. Because it's just the colour of it's the way it's tarnished, sort of thing. There's a mumbo jumbo of shit there. Dare I say it, that one looks very much like silver. Anyway, there's a place that I can go and sell all this. Oh, that looks horrendously like silver. Just the tarnish on that is pretty, very realistically silver. She was a single woman all her life, and government employee, and I don't think she was hard up for a bit of money when it comes to hobbies. Yep, as I was saying, shitloads of nibs. Don't know exactly what the green is, you guys probably know. Should do this to some frickin' art class or something. Another sort of protractor thing and some strange little knife. Now, so that'd be some sort of specialised one made in England. Fortunately, this is reflecting a lot. I can see it very well. I remember when I was cleaning this joint out, there's carpenters next door doing a double-storey extension on the house next door, and I said to him, "Do you want a few pencils?" "Oh, yeah, I suppose so." They were more interested in one of the old radios she had. And anyway, I ended up leaving them with, holy smoke, she had that many frickin' pencils. And I thought, honestly, dude, what are you going to do with all these pencils? Give them to somebody who will use them. And the amount of pencils I gave them was like, fuck, it was like about 50 pencils or 70 pencils. Something ridiculous. Because I just thought to myself, now what the hell are you going to do with these? Who is going to use this many pencils? And I thought, they're there, next door, carpenters, you know, they'd use pencils. No worries about it. So instead of them buying them, why don't you give them all these things? And it saves you taking them home. It saves you throwing them out. And whatnot. Try and get a couple more of these open. Looking for a surprisey-o in some of these. Ooh! Yeah, a lot of calligraphy stuff. Some of these I probably should just pitch out. Paper clips. Oh, yes. What am I thinking? None of this is actually what it says on the packet, so I shouldn't pitch them out at all. It's like, I know what these are for. I know what these are for. When I get one to come out, I think they're more for painting. Individual little things for painting. Or ink or something like that. Oops, there goes something. Drawing pins. I did actually get a heap of pins as well, which I've still got. Oh, and they would be actual bloody drawing pins. Shit, they look like they're all brass. Solid head drawing pins. Geez, they don't look like stamped either. They look like bloody new machine. Made in Australia. Half-inch. Holy smoke. That is a packet actually out of the 50s, I believe. They used to have these blue-grey packs. And there would be absolutely nothing in that. Don't know what that is. It might be like an attachment that you put on. Just deliberately bleeds out ink as soon as it sits downwards. A little spring-loaded mechanism there. As I said, I should get to an art school and give them all this shit. They probably have a use for it all. That would be another one of a similar thing. Standard pen. Hold pen upright, wash out and push down, wire down after use. Somebody probably in the comments telling me this is worth a lot. I don't know if it's worth that much. Oh yes. Mars Lumochrome, Germany. That might be a pen that you actually load up with your own ink or something. Oh, this is going to be a long time to upload this. Some other little bizarre shenanigans. I can't even remember seeing half of this stuff before. Probably another one. Yes, that would be right. Lettering pen number 6. Oh yeah, fuck. Gotta get the top back on. In a second. Holy smoke. Yeah, bad enough nibs to sink a battleship yet again. Yeah, anyway, I should find somebody who's got a use for all this crap. Well, it continues on. This is just even more pens than the other one. More calligraphy tips. And that was more calligraphy tips in with this one. Oh, out of China. That's a paintbrush. Dare I say it. This probably is too. As you wonder about the Chinese, they have traditionally been known to write with paintbrushes. It's pretty much the way it goes over there until more recent times. And even now still, you know, the people without all the dough are still writing with paintbrushes. And even more stuff. This one's interesting. That's just more friggin' nibs. They in there are absolutely perfect. There's not a bit of rust on them. They've just been kept perfect their whole life. Has the bloomin' thumbnails and this shit. The bloody size of the bastards. For reference, it's slightly bigger than a 5-cent coin. I'm not joking. I'm talking Australian 5-cent coin. Static Best Cigarettes, number 333. Absolutely unique in their qualities. Even some of those old boxes would be worth something, because they're so flaming old. Anyway, I might have to think of what I'm going to do with all this crap, and quite possibly flog it off to somebody and keep at least these old boxes to flog off on Etsy or something at a later point. Sewing machine. That's a blooming pencil sharpener, that's what it really is. Pretty certain this is just a few more are the same, and just a couple more pins in that red one there. There is. What's this in here? Holy smoke! Let's have a look at this. You've never heard it so good. New cordless radios play better when powered with fresh, ever-ready energizers. With your new cordless radio, there is no waiting, no warm-up, and you can take it with you from room to room. No cords, plugs, or power points to tie it down. For top performance, hour after hour, keep your cordless radio powered with fresh, ever-ready energizers. Union Carbide Australia Limited. Beauty. No warm-up. On that, the Valve radios used to have a warm-up. And I shit you not, that old relative I had that died when I was working for the plasterer, he had one, and he used to use it on a daily basis, and still sitting in his house. I got a few Valve radios here, but they're basically stuffed, or they're only like the outer shells and the insides are rat shit. So, and you may have actually seen some of those when I was doing the gables around there. Whoa! You know that one I was showing you? That big butcher's knife. Oh, look at the size of the fucking thing. It's more than a foot long. Victorinox. Yeah, Victorinox Fibrox. Those of you who don't know, Victorinox is a shockingly good brand. And internationally renowned brand, from what I gather. Anyway, I don't know if that's a bit of... Yeah. Like surface rust that I can actually get off with my fingernail. This may be going better than expected, but I'll tell you what, for certain, I'll have to do a decent job on sharpening that, and I have sharpened the old knife or two before, even though it's not my prerogative. I used to use fine sandpaper, and they'd come up frickin' razor sharp. I mean, so sharp you would barely believe it. By the way, any of those of you who got these little puffy-ass silver goblets that they used to give everyone for their 21st back in the 1980s. They're fucking crap. They're only plated, they're rubbish, you're not worth a frickin' cracker. And my uncle Used to like buying them, and quite honestly, not worth shitting on. Just throw them in scrap metal. No matter what you think, they are frickin' worthless. And yeah, I think this old lady kept a couple too. I'm just going to chuck these right in scrap metal as well. Some of this must have been just put in here more recently. Some of you know what this is. Spring loaded. Open it up, drop your tea leaves in, and then go, and then you just put it in, and you swirl it around in your hot water in your cup. Or you put it in first, and then put the hot water in, and then start swirling. And yeah, I'm going to take that inside and give that a wash. Along with this is what I should be using. I've got some mint that somehow is sitting on the table, but somehow the mint leaves in it. Oh no, it was actually in the blooming drying rack with all the credit card and all that. Got a little bit damp, so I'm going to have to use that over the next few days. There's only a few cups worth of dried mint leaves in it, but this is one of the things you use. You sit that over the top of your coffee mug, and you put your leaves in there, and then you pour your water straight through there onto the leaves, but then it, of course, gets strained before it puts the tea into the cup. And I'm going to go and put that in my stack of other things that are washable. Surprise, surprise. Just block a few things here. Yeah, my uncle's licence. You can see now why they used to call him Santa. I reckon he should chase Elvis Travels down the fucking street and he'd be shit scared of him. But I'll show you something else his conspiracy mates used to get into. Alan R. Knight. And then he puts Alan Robert Knight, copyright, in capital letters above it. They were copywriting their names so that their names couldn't be used, even in letters addressed to them. And would you believe some of the authorities actually jumped and would, label it, to the license holder and all these other weird, to the applicable person and all this other weird shit. It's, yeah, little packeted scarer. If you're a real intelligent person and has spent time in a certain place, you might know where that's from. As I say, and some of this stuff has only been more recently in here, including these secateurs and whatnot. And I had to use that on my overhead water tank because of the shitbox Chinese thread. It's thread paste that will actually deal with pressurized gas to help. It's thread sealant paste, but yeah, this will even be used with pressurized gas, as well as diesel lines, petrol lines, you friggin' name it. But all I needed was to buy this ridiculously overpriced, I think it's about $25 tube, just for one stupid ass thread that they'd cut too deep, or the tube they were using was too thin. And I've done everything known to man with these blasted blue glue and Teflon tape, and you want to talk about Teflon tape, my father said, oh, just put it on thicker. Fucking hell, I tried 4 fucking times over the space of about 2-3 weeks, and it just didn't do shit. And this was what saved the day. And that's probably, it was damn near out of date when I got it, I think. Well, only had a month or 2 left on it. Keep it anyway, but these are some of the old nails from around here that I got out of different things, which I shall keep. I shit you not, this was some of the nails and some of the wood. These are actual nails pulled out from wood that my uncle got from an old place that they renovated. It was built around the same time as this joint was. Fuck them, and they almost look like railway spikes, for fuck's sake. And I actually have a need for, well, a short one of these, but not one quite that big. I think they're 10mm 3/8. Nowadays they flange them. These ones aren't flanged. They've just got a washer and a normal nut. All this shit should go in my building spares category, my tools category, and that would be, yeah, you're seeing what you think you're seeing. Made in Thailand. It's brass chopsticks. And I got another menagerie of ridiculous things. I don't know, they sometimes have these as toys over here. I don't know if you've seen that. That's a, what is it, sort of between the hoof and the rest of the leg in a sheep. And it's like a double jointed thing. Very strange. They used to make plastic ones and use them as toys, but in the 50s people would use real ones like this one is real. And I might as well chuck that out because every now and then you find one around the paddock from a sheep that's died years ago or whatever. A lot of these old blasted 5-cent bits as well. I've been getting these tarnished ones he's got and giving them to a certain charity thing that has a little collection thing, and just keep jamming all the tarnished ones in. Shit, I've even got good roof screws in here. Oh, cladding screws. Anyway, I shall keep sorting through. How's this shit? That would be, judging by the end there, I don't know if you can see it, it's got a centre point. It's a wood drill bit. That is, holy smoke, not a great deal more than 1/8 of an inch thick. Be lucky to be more than 3.5 mil thick, basically. And it would be at least a foot long. The shit you find. Well, we have a lot of tea shit in this country. I believe this is what they use to squeeze out your tea bag to get the last bit of your tea out of your tea bag. Now I got a lot of bizarre shit. I found the other a few months ago I had another egg flip, and I thought beauty could do with 3 egg flips. Well, you know, now technically there's 4. So I'll wipe the dust off of that. You will see it is in brand new condition. I will be screwed black and blue. Made in England. Holy smoke. That, I didn't expect that. I probably bought that in the flippin' late 80s or something like that, and she never used it. Another EP&S spoon. Those of you who think EP&S is silver, it's not technically, although it has a similar sort of, when the frickin' light's going to play ball, similar sort of tarnish. It is actually tarnished in that top right corner, although the bloody camera doesn't want to show it. It actually stands for electroplated nickel silver, so it's a mix of nickel and silver, not just straight silver, even though it tarnishes much like silver does. And that would be probably another one. Ugh. Silver plate. So that's probably just sterling plated. Or might be nickel silver plated. That's another one, EP&S. You got that same, you can sort of see it a bit better there. That's it there, that's your tarnish there, you can see that good. You got that same sort of tarnish, but it's not exactly the same thing. That's like a random bullshit. Hang on a minute. No, Japanese made. Thought it was what I'd missed from a while ago. Oh, what do you know? Another bit of coal. I got another bit of coal out of the other bag just before. If I'm not incorrect, Cuba. Cuba for what it's bloody worth. I don't know. I think he went to a rally or something and grabbed hold of or he's in the city and they had a friggin' protest or something to do with Cuba, and yeah, he would have just grabbed hold of one of the flags anyway. It's chronic for going somewhere and grabbing a souvenir or something, you know, even shit that they really didn't want him to take, he'd grab anyway, but that was my uncle. And that's another one of those shit-ass goblets that's about to go in the bloomin' bin. Scrap metal, rather. This used to be completely chromed, but unfortunately no longer. It's a bit of a shame. I should have kept it inside, even though it was in there. Must have been enough moisture in the air to fuck everything up. But basically, that is a tape measure, and the whole tape measure itself is chromed. Perfectly circular tape measure. And that's alright. Also, made in England. There's a hell of a lot of stuff back in the day, back in the 60s and that was made in England. And we used to get heaps of stuff because, well, you know, when we first started the country, everything was made in England, wasn't it? So we used to bring everything over, except there was engines built up the road from where I am. But anyway, how is this? I don't know if you guys know exactly what that is. That is a bone handle. Yes, that's right, the handle is made of bone. And these are not terribly easy to come by these days because most of them went out in rubbish when Grandma died, and that's what happened to a lot of them, full stop. It's got a picture of a scythe thingy there that you can't really see. Plenty John Derby and Sons, makers Sheffield. Also England. Anyway, I might as well show you this. I have a tendency to collect these bizarre things that are used in kitchens. That's an ice block shenanigan, and as you can tell, the top bit slides, and you would pull it out, you'd have it sitting flat like that, and you'd pull it out and it'd be like in a little aluminium tray, and then you go flick like that and it'd release them all and crack them all as you moved it, because of the difference between the top section and the bottom section moving. Intriguing. This is a bean stringer, which is probably a pretty low quality. It is starting to rust, unfortunately, in some parts. That is made in Australia. It has patents, but I guarantee you it's not made with terribly great quality. Kursk bean stringer and slicer. You're supposed to cut your ends of your beans with your little sharp edge there, and then you open and close that, but you feed your bean into that, give it a push through or whatever, and yeah, it cuts it up with all the little blades as it goes through. But as I said, you know, pretty low quality, but I've never seen anything like it and probably never will again.